When men fail to hold back the tides of chaos, who is there to clean it up? It is, of course, the mighty High Elf forces. Today, we have Anarian himself leading the High Elves up against Conan, the Agrarian of Warriors of Chaos. I have no idea how to pronounce that name. I'm sure I'll get about 3 comments telling me how. But without further ado, let's delve into some glorious High Elves versus Chaos action. Very excited to delve into this one, which is traditionally quite a rough matchup, in my opinion, for the High Elves. They tend to get steamrolled, but they got a really cool build trying to counter the chaos today. So for the forces of the High Elves, we have 4 units of Illyrian Reaver archers, 2 on either side, pushing forward, looking to skirmish. Now, they're basically a pivotal and integral unit to any High Elf build up against Warriors of Chaos. It's almost impossible not to bring some Illyrian Reaver archers. And that's simply due to the fact the enemy skirmish cav will dumpster you if you do not bring them. In the main battle line, it is a bucket ton of rangers dotted all the way along, relatively cheap and cheerful, at least as far as elvish infantry goes. They're pretty mean, though. They'll be dual wielding their swords, slicing and dicing their way from marauders with deft ease. However, they will struggle up against Chaos Warriors, Chosen and Forsaken and so forth. We do have double bolt thrower as well, which I quite like. Double bolt thrower can certainly do some nice damage. They're going to be protected today by the elite of the elite, the badass stoic Phoenix Guard. We have 2 units of them, and they're really good up against Warriors of Chaos in general. Will struggle one-on-one against Chosen, particularly the Great Weapon and a basic variety, but still, they are pretty good against the large creatures, and good support here for the double Eagle Claw bolt thrower. Once again, we have Teclis. I believe we actually showcased him last video as well, but Teclis certainly can do some decent work, charging forward on his steed. He's coming in with the net as well as Chain Lightning. Oh my god, he's got a load of spells. He has Never Antok, he has Chain Lightning, Enfeeble and Foe, Focal Doom, and Regrowth. Also coming in with that Bound Fire Convocation and his Scroll and Sword. So not a bad pick whatsoever. Very versatile Lord, and also you're getting the money for having a mage and your lord all wrapped up into one, which can be quite nice. Now, it looks like the Warriors of Chaos player is going for a bit of a I'm going to punch you really freaking hard in the face and try to break your teeth style build. It is a big old rush. We have the Demon Spew, Regiment Renowned Forsaken, mixed in with a load of Chaos Warriors of Weapons dotted across the front line. No cheap and cheerful marauders here, no siree, with the elite Bad to the Bones Warriors. We've got some Chaos Warhounds of Poison, as well as some armored Chaos Trolls on the right-hand side. On the left, the Weird Spawn, the Regiment Renowned Chaos Spawn, double Marauder Horsemen as well with Throne Axes. We have a Chaos Sorcerer of Shadows coming in with Pendulum and Enfeebling Foe, and the mighty, the legendary, the world-renowned, famous Kholek Suneater himself, going to be bringing death and carnage to the battlefield, coming in with Stand or Die, not, however, bringing the Star Crusher, which does, of course, break my little dark heart, but we shall have to move on. More Chaos Warhounds of Poison on the left-hand side, so quite a narrow build in general. Looking just to punch through the High Elf center and overwhelm them and break them off from there. Rather interested to see how this one does indeed pan out. Bolt throw shots are singing, likewise are the Leon Reaver Archer arrows. They start whittling some shots in, targeting down the Marauder Horseman Throne Axes. Not a bad play whatsoever. Now, we do get a big, fat, overcast set of Amantor go down on double Chaos Warriors, as well as the Chaos Warhounds, and they're not going to be able to escape the Bound Fiery Convocation, which is birthed into existence and swoops dangerously along the line there. Look at the HP damage. Now, of course, the Warriors of Chaos are armored, so that will help them considerably. The Warhounds are instantly forced back, and about half HP, or just under half HP off 2 units. Certainly not bad work from Teclis out of the gate there. Warriors of Chaos don't seem too phased, though. They're going to continue to push forward. In fact, the Chaos Sorcerer is challenging Teclis to a one-on-one duel. Teclis kindly declines and decides to fall back instead, particularly seeing that Kholek was so close nearby. Now, the Bolt Throwers are targeting down the Chaos Warriors, for surprisingly. I'd think they'd be focused down at the Chaos Trolls or Kholek himself. Reavers are now doing a pretty decent damage to the Marauder Horsemen. They do outnumber the Warriors of Chaos Skirmish Cavalry, and they would like to keep it that way. Now, the Phoenix Guard are going to pursue Kholek Suneater here and attempt to get a good engagement with him. On the left-hand side, Phoenix Guard are able to plant their halberds in the ground and drive away the Chaos Trolls. We're simply going to retreat back from them and rear attack the Rangers before, no doubt, trying to pull back through friendly troops, which is certainly some really lovely play there. In the middle, we do have Chaos Warriors receiving Stand or Die. They're not supporting Kholek, however, who's gone balls to the walls and pushed through that front line, butchering Rangers, terrifying them off the battlefield, and also bringing the pain to the Phoenix Guard. We're going to see a lovely lightning shot as well brought down from him. You can see him channeling his hammer there, going to get in some nice damage onto the Phoenix Guard. We do have the Weird Spawn as well as Forsaken pushing through onto the Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower. Now, we did try last little second snappy net there to pin in the Spawn. However, the Forsaken are quite easily going to be able to push through onto the Bolt Thrower. Not enough Winds of Magic for another Overcast one there. Big fat pendulum goes down the line on the Rangers and Phoenix Guard, though it does look like the Phoenix Guard were able to juke the worst of the damage. A big old rut does kind of spew forth, though, from the ground, and we can see it is littered with dead Phoenix Guard and Chaos Warriors alike. Rangers getting quite over-eager here, are pushing forward into the enemy back line, and hey, any axes they're eating means axes that the Phoenix Guard won't be taken, which is certainly good news for the High Elves. How the Rangers do kind of overextend there and are eventually shut down, unfortunately. Reaver's doing a really good job, though, focusing on Kolek as well as the Weird Spawn there. Weird Spawn are a fantastic target for them. Only 10 armor means they're very susceptible to that long-range missile pressure. I mean, we've seen a regrowth used on Phoenix Guard. You don't see this terribly often. I think regrowths and Rev Crystals and Apotheosis actually being used on elite infantry like Phoenix Guard can be really, really useful and valuable. You don't just have to use it on the characters. Rangers do attempt to hold back the Chaos Warriors, but their mass is simply too much, and the heavily armored warriors push through the ranks and start decapitating Eagle Claw bolt thrower crewmen who aren't used to the bloody affairs of frontline combat. The Elite Reavers are still going strong, though. They're about to be jumped here by horsemen as well as warhounds with poison. They're desperately trying to escape. If the warhounds are able to catch them, they will be slowed and poisoned and probably dragged down. But at the moment, it's not going too badly for them. We do get yet another bound of fiery convocation. Unfortunately, this time, the warriors are able to dispatch the enemies quick enough to push through and escape the wrath of Teclis. But hey, 1 out of 2 isn't too bad for those casts. And then Reavers are focused down the Weird Spawn now, doing some good damage to him. The Demon Spew, likewise, are a fantastic target. 85 armor is decent, but not fantastical. And only 22 models remain there. The Archers have been a big old pest. And though most of the Rangers have broken, their bodies, their minds, their spirits all shattered into 1,000 pieces by Kolek, the Phoenix Guard remain stalwart and firm. They're actually retreating backwards here a little bit, just buying time for those Horse Archers to really rain down the fire where possible. And there's so many good targets for them right now. All the weapons, none of them have shields. They do have 100 armor, which certainly isn't too bad, but it looks like they are just trying to whittle them down where possible. Demon Spew going to be quick enough to catch the Eagle Claw bolt for a crewman, most likely. 22 speed here versus the 46, sorry, the Demon Spew. My god, they are way faster. Reavers consider going out there to save them, but I think they know it's a lost cause, so instead they're going to get a lovely rear attack onto the Chaos Warriors, trying to keep them away from Kolek Suneater and aiding him against the Phoenix Guard, who are doing a fantastic job right now. They're also going to be able to take a massive hit, though, from a Thunderbolt. They attempted to juke it, but so many of them still got caught, and that is big damage coming in. Reaver Archer are really low on ammunition right now, but they are using their last shots onto Kolek, who has eaten an enfeebling foe right now. Unfortunately, he's not being pinned in place. There was no net of Amantok to follow it up. We do have again a regrowth go down on the Phoenix Guard, 56 models and 58 being nice and topped up now, and they are driving back the tides of chaos. The Warriors, they're all running to save their own skins. The Chaos Trolls not going to have too much luck here. Kolek is relatively safe for now, however, with the Reavers running out of ammunition. We do get a lovely pendulum come down the line, but once again, the Phoenix Guard and good play by the health player with his micro are going to drive forward and instead push after Kolek, and only a few of them go down to the mighty magical pendulum of death. That Chaos Sorcerer hasn't had the best luck so far. Now, Kolek has been pinned in place. This is really good play here by the High Elves, allowing the Phoenix Guard to try to get a full surround on him and drag him down. Reavers as well being used to clatter in to the Warriors, and the Warhounds trying to break off the weakened and weak forces of the Chaos and allow the Phoenix Guard to deal with the much tougher and hard-hitting Kolek Suneater. The Thronexes have managed to return back to the fray. It looks like, though, they are going to get driven away by Illyrian Reavers, and Illyrian Reavers are so quick, they should be able to catch the Horsemen and drive them back. Kolek Suneater, still surrounded by Phoenix Guard, is not having a good day whatsoever. Luckily for him, it's not the Keepers of Flame, otherwise he'd probably be dead right now. We do, however, have the Chaos Trolls in the mists. They still hit pretty hard, even if their opponent is hitting them back with a halberd, doing some lovely damage, and the Chaos Trolls are actually forced back here. Might be worth dispatching a unit of Reavers to chase these guys off. Of course, they can come back with that regeneration, and they get really nasty in the latter stages of the game. So we are going to see these Reavers chase off the Trolls and just escort them off the battlefield, which is really good play. Now, Teclis does manage to survive a big old cleaving blow, though not so much can be said for those Phoenix Guard, though many of them did get back up. They were able to surround and slaughter the Chaos Sorcerer, and that has enticed Kolek in to one big fat final confrontation. Yet again, he comes down with his lovely little lightning effect here. That is the Lord of the Storm effect. Basically a cheeky little lightning bolt, Orion's Thunderbolt coming down. Chaos Sorcerer is going to be driven away. Teclis is going to be hounding and harassing the Sorcerer where possible. Phoenix Guard once again eating a regrowth, and that's going to be topping up so nicely, putting an unbelievable amount of pressure on the Warriors of Chaos infantry, because Kolek's not going to deal with the Phoenix Guard. We need all this other stuff to do so. However, something Kolek will deal with is Teclis in combat, and Teclis manages to part ways through the Phoenix Guard, kind of make them move aside with a rather sharp order as he had quite scaredly, does flee from Kolek, but I don't blame him. Kolek is a very scary geezer. Chaos Warriors going to be pushing in the front. We're also going to get Chaos Warriors in the back, trying to get a nice surround and use the mobility of the battlefield that Chaos still possess, because a lot of their horsemen are being forced off here. Instead of this unit of Reavers, though, I do expect the horsemen will be able to shut them down. Big Fat Pendulum does come into place, but the Chaos Warriors aren't able to pin them in long enough, instead breaking and running for their life, and that Pendulum once again is missed. Chaos Sorcerer of Shadows has not enjoyed his day, but that's mainly due to the good juking abilities so far that have been on display from the High Elf player. Now, Teclis is trying his best to hunt down that Chaos Sorcerer. Unfortunately, does eat an Enfeebling Foe, and, does eat an Enfeebling Foe, actually, as Kolek eats a Scroll of Hoeth going down there, and it looks like Teclis should be able to engage the Chaos Sorcerer and most likely overwhelm them, simply due to their low HP here. Now, Kolek is really struggling. He is desperately trying to escape the Phoenix Guard, who are constantly hounding and harassing him. He's going to be able to fall back to his Chaos Warriors with great weapons. This could be a little bit of a safe haven for the Chaos. However, their thrown axes, they need to take them off fire at will. They're wasting ammo on the Reavers. Every single axe needs to come into the Phoenix Guard, and then hope that you can kind of cycle charge them down with the Chaos Trolls and Kolek, though currently Kolek is nowhere to be found. He's actually terrified and running away from those pointy-eared demons. Chaos Sorcerer is being driven away, though, by Teclis, which is certainly good news for Teclis there. The Warhounds are in hot pursuit. Now, Teclis is very squishy, so there's a chance that perhaps the Chaos Warhounds could surround him and save that Sorcerer. In the front, though, the Warriors break hard to the Phoenix Guard, simply mock and laugh Kolek as he flees, tail between his legs like a beaten puppy. Not too good day there for Kolek, but a very grand day for the High Elf forces of Anarian. Really lovely job there, and some good usage of the elite High Elf units, which I love to see. High Elves have some of the coolest elite units in Phoenix Guard and Swordmasters and so on. It's a real pleasure to see, and you can see the Phoenix Guard themselves did a fantastic job. 2,356 damage value and 1,775, 52 and 72 kills apiece. Don't mind if I do. Very well played to Conan, very well played to Naren as well. Really awesome game by both players, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a good fun one to cast. So until next time, well, before I do that, if you did enjoy this, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe and comment and all that kind of glorious stuff. Also, there's a load of links in the description if that's your jam. I should probably go through the rest of the value before I close out the video. So 1.5k there on Teclis, 14 kills. Most of his kind of shining moment was in the early stage of the game. No neutering the effectiveness of a lot of the Warriors of Chaos infantry. They still packed a punch and was able to split open the Rangers, who all got in the very low 100 range for the damage value, which is a bit of a shame. Phoenix Guard really were kind of the units to carry the day, but the Reaver Archers as well certainly earned a mark. 7 kills, 45 kills, 68 kills, and 65. 358, 825, 1023, and 1027 damage value. A pivotal unit for the High Elf forces today. The bolt throwers 480 and 400 value. Probably bought just in case there was a Hell Cannon, because of course Hell Cannons would destroy the Phoenix Guard incredibly fast. Kolek Sunita still got 1,882 damage value, just couldn't quite keep Teclis pinned in one place long enough to finish him off. And likewise, the poor Chaos Sorcerer, there were some good pendulums played by Conan here, really well placed, but unfortunately just wasn't able to pin in the High Elf forces, only getting 555 value and 25 kills. The main meat of the build, the Chaos Warriors of Weapons, 88, 75, 62, and 62 kills, 907, 764, 758, and 836 damage value, easily pushing back the Rangers, but by the time they got there, they'd taken so many arrows, so many magical spells, they weren't able to overwhelm the Phoenix Guard, sadly. Demon Spew, always good to see them in action. I love seeing them just sprint headlong across the battlefield to bring wrath and ruin. 106 kills, 1.1k damage value is not too shabby. The Horsemen, one unit did good, 69 kills, having a party there, but only 925 damage values. It's pretty good, but the other unit, 190, is obviously a lot weaker, but kind of evening out each other there a little bit to make them cost effective. Chaos Warhounds, 470 and 86 damage value. The Trolls, 526 value. The Weird Spawn, only 431. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Until next time, peace, peace. And as always, stay awesome.